With the horns, you know what that means. The horns are signaling it's the time, a beautiful time. Good afternoon. It's Sunday, June 22. Welcome to the CCRP update for this, the 25th episode for 2025. The CCRP was created to empower, celebrate, and protect Jamaica's seniors. They offer many benefits. Visit our website at ccrponline.org. CCRP Update is brought to you by J&GI Silver Shield, the best choice for auto and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. Contact Gallagher Insurance Brokers or J&GI for best value and a boatload of benefits. In today's update, we welcome Ms. Sandra Lattibeaudiere, a lecturer in social work at the University of the West Indies, Mona, and she will guide us on reflections on issues that are central to the just observed World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. It was observed last Sunday, June 15. So, it kind of get a little shift because of Father's Day, but we can't forget it. This is who we are. This is what we do. But first, a little family business. Our CCRP update sponsors J&GI offer their amazing Silver Shield plan for auto and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. The auto plan includes free benefits from the Jamaica Automobile Association with valet service for vehicle registration, fitness, and 24-hour roadside assistance. CCRP will shortly implement a new data system which requires each member to have a unique email address. Members who have not submitted an email address to CCRP, please do so immediately. If the email address you've submitted is shared with another member, you need to submit one that's uniquely yours. They need to be disaggregated, separate them, all right? Members who have changed their email addresses, also we need that. We have to be in touch, especially if you've done that since joining. You might have done that once or twice. We want the current one, so make sure that we're good. CCRP, let us know, all right? Please send your updated email address or to our contact number. Well, maybe you've changed your contact number as well, right? Okay, so here are the ways to get to us. WhatsApp. There are two WhatsApp numbers, both 876. The first one is 469-1944. That's 876-469-1944. The other option for WhatsApping us, 876-295-7059, 876-295-7059. Or you can email us at info at ccrponline.org. Yeah. If you're 40 or over, you are eligible to join CCRP. Yes, I did say 40. You don't have to be 60. Wouldn't you like a whole 20 years before you get to 60 to understand what you're doing in your life next? Yes. Join early. We're welcoming you because you open up a whole world of exciting events, money savings, discounts. And when you're a CCRP member, you're actively supporting the rights of seniors and the elderly. Yes, we have lots of fun, but we're all about the business. We're standing on business, as the young people say. We have been passionate advocates to help ensure that you're protected from elder abuse and discrimination. And that's going to be our conversation in just a toops. Also in the notices, for only an initial registration fee of $2,500 and an annual renewal of only $2,000, you'll have access to discounts of up to 30% from our over 100 discount partners, and that's growing almost every week. Lots of things to look at. And go look at the website. You'll see them listed there. CCRP also offers two high-value health insurance plans underwritten by Sagicor for our members. Don't forget, 40, that's all. Get to 40, you're in, you're part of us, and you can make sure that you do all you need to do in time to enjoy a great retirement. Next on this program, we'll speak with Mr. Peter Levy, Managing Director of BCIC, about their acquisition of J&GI. He will also provide information on BCIC's online property valuation calculator, something really valuable, so don't miss it. Now to the meat of today's update. We'll shine a light on the blight that is elder abuse. And today's expert is Ms. Sandra Lattibeaudiere, lecturer in social work at the UWI. Welcome, Miss Bright Smile. My God, my heart melt when me look and see you in the Zoom room. People are telling about your smile, and it's not me being creepy or anything. It just warms my heart.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for creating the space for us to talk about this very important issue.
Oh my
And my smile
gosh.
belies that the issue, but I'm generally a warm, smiley person. So
Yes, yes. And you see, you come with solutions, right?
yes,
So we come with solutions, and that's the amazing, that's the wonderful thing. What do we mean by elder abuse? Because this could vary based on our worldview, couldn't it?
yeah, it could.
So what's the
Um,
functional definition?
so the functional definition refers to a deliberate action or lack of action by a caregiver or a trusted person that causes harm or distress to an older adult. And the importance of that definition is that it's a trusting relationship. So it's
Yes.
a caregiver, could be a family member, it could be a paid caregiver, which is still a trusting relationship because there's an element that the older adult is trusting that they're what they need will be looked after. So if it's in terms of if the older adult is incontinent, that they will be cared for in a particular way. If they are unable to walk, all of those things that is so it's a real it's an expectation of trust that
Hmm.
I put my trust in my family member or in the paid caregiver,
Okay.
and I expect to be taken care of. And
Mm.
so, because that definition is so functional, it brings to mind a number of things. So
Yes.
it can take the form of neglect. So somebody abandoning an older adult, say like in the hospital. Jamaica has an issue of social cases. Social cases are cases in the hospital where the person in the hospital does not need any medical help. They're okay. They're ready to go home, but because of non-medical reasons, they can't leave. So the family
Mm.
members abandon them in the hospital, and we have a lot of that older people. And our studies show that the majority of them are men, unfortunately, that are
Mm.
that are abandoned in the hospital. So that is one form of neglect. The
Mm.
physical, we know, you can see those,
Yes.
broken bones, pinching. So you see the signs of redness, once because as we get older, our skins get a little, thinner. And
Yes.
so, when you pinch an older person, you can see the wells, you can see the marks on them. You have situation where the person has a broken hip, and it's not accidental. It is something that is deliberate. So we have deliberate, as the definition says, deliberate action. We have situations where older adults are not given any water or any food, because family members are experiencing difficulty with the diapers, are changing too much, and these are real issues.
My
Unfortunately,
goodness.
we don't have a lot of numbers, but we hear them. We hear the stories from older adults. Family members don't want to change them too often because diapers are expensive.
Mm.
And so they may have the older adult in the diaper, a deliberate action in the diaper for the whole day and only change them in the night. So that
Mm.
so that when they're sleeping and you're sleeping, so that it will last until the next morning. And so we have situations like that, a deliberate action or inaction by somebody whom the individual trusts.
Oh my gosh. And that is the crucial thing about it, trust, because
Trust.
you let your guard
Yeah.
down.
Hmm.
If it's a baby, if whoever it is, and
Well,
that's the hottest lick.
that is the hottest thing because you don't expect it from
Mm-mm.
from from that source, especially
Yeah.
if it's your child,
Mm.
because we have some parents who dote on their children, especially the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the relationship when persons are caregivers, gender is an important factor. So
Mm.
girls will look after the mothers, they will change them for the most part. You have one or two young men, but for the majority, the women are the ones who will care for the mothers and the,
Mm.
and the fathers. And they will do all the activities of daily living, like combing their hair, brushing their teeth, and so on. While the
Mm-hmm.
boys, if they are around, will provide the finances,
Mm.
and they will do the heavy lifting and so on. So the dynamics are different. And some
Right.
boys, they don't want to see their parents in that kind of situation where they're powerless, where they're
Mm.
defenseless.
Yes.
So some
Yes.
some children can't manage that, and we're not going to kill them for that. We're not going to say anything negative because some people just are not made up that way, and that's
Mm.
fine.
Yes.
If you know
Yes.
that you're not that way, then you're going to seek professional help so
Mm-hmm.
that we do not end up in an abusive situation.
Mm-hmm. Healthcare pays a lot in other markets because it is clear the kind of toll it takes on both sides.
Yes,
To be a
yes,
great
yes.
healthcare worker is something, is a investment in time, and it's deep, It's really, really
Yeah,
deep.
yeah. It calls, sorry, Jerry, it calls for something else. It calls for patience, and it's more than love. It calls for something that you have to step outside of yourself. I'm doing a study currently on caregivers of persons with dementia,
Mm,
and where you find that the family caregivers, because they don't have the training, and some of them don't know what to expect, they get
mhm.
very agitated, and it can in fact lead over unintentionally
Yes.
into abusing the older adult because they themselves are stressed. And some of
Mm,
them are working, they're working full-time jobs.
mm.
And so they're coming home now to another level of work. And so they're exhausted.
Yeah.
So when you talk about that, yeah, we need to
Mm,
find some means of support for
mm,
both parties, the older
mm.
adults and their caregivers.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a delicate
It is a
intersection.
it's a
Yeah,
complex issue.
it's
Yeah, it
yes,
is.
yes, yeah.
It is.
Anything can tip the balance in one way or the other. Pretty
Exactly, exactly,
wow.
exactly. And,
Oh, yeah.
and and it's outside of the predatory ones, because we know that we have some predatory persons who will steal the monies of the older adults and so on. It's not that we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who is in a loving relationship, a parent-child relationship. The child is now taking care of the parent, and that child can't understand the shift in balance, nor can the older adult. Because
Right,
sometimes the older adult can't understand that I'm no longer the person in charge.
right.
I'm losing some of my and I'm going to use the word loosely, power,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a shift now. The child wants to do more for the older adult, and the older adult is resisting. And we
Mm-hmm.
know that. And
Yes.
so sometimes it can tip, as you said, the balance,
Mm-hmm.
where it becomes a negative situation. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
still an adult, I still can do things. I don't see why you want to
Yes.
take over what I can do and what I bring to the family.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
sometimes that can lead, tip over
Mm-hmm.
into that.
Yes. A touchy area is that it's very, very touchy because you might observe, you might be very observant, you might be very empathetic, and you see something next door, and is your friend, family, and it don't look right. But you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to broach it because
Mm-hmm.
you think me would I do something like that? Or mind your own business. It's hard. How do
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah.
What are some of the ways you can shine a light on suspected abuse
Mm-hmm.
without just making it worse for an extended period? I don't think you can get out of it unscathed because it's so tough.
Yeah, you see, there's a particular saying, Jerry, that you walk gently into the lives of people because you don't know
That's it.
what burdens they're carrying,
True,
and
true.
so it's not about pointing fingers. Sometimes it's just to say, I look after. So you're not going to broach a subject. You're just going to say, I look after mommy, I look after grandma, I look after daddy. You can go take a few hours, go take a few
Hmm.
hours sleep,
Yes.
go on the road, go to get your hair done or something. These are
Hmm.
just little things. So
Yes.
it's not about blaming, because sometimes, really and truly, it is just for somebody to see the caregiver to say, we
Hmm.
understand. So we will take it for a few hours. If because sometimes they just need a little 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour one day,
Hmm.
just to get to get back their mental state, because it's a mental thing too.
Yes.
Some of the caregivers have said when they see their parents, they are doing more for their parents, what the parents used to do for them. Um, it makes it, it's hard. It's hard
Yes.
for some people to do that. So one
True.
of the ways I would say, don't go accusing because you don't know. You
That's it.
know,
That's it.
offer
Yeah.
some respite. Say,
Hmm.
I will look after your mother. You can go for the 2 hours and go get your hair done. Go uptown, go walk up and down, go get on ice cream. It's just simple things like that.
Yes. True,
Just
true.
recognize it. And it's really just about recognize, because sometimes the caregiver just needs to be recognized for what they're doing. But they
Absolutely.
don't need payment. They don't need any long-term, taking over of their responsibilities. Sometimes it's just for somebody to see them and say, we applaud you, we honor the work that you're doing.
Hmm.
And how can we help? That's
Yes.
that's the question. How can we help? Because we can't go in there. We don't know what their needs are. So
Mm.
how can we help? And then
Right.
they can tell you, is it respite? Is it help with is it? And so that is how you help. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't go in there with guns a blazing
No, no,
and,
no,
and
never.
being accusatory.
No,
You're
no.
going to walk gently into the
Yes.
lives of the
Mm.
caregivers because they are going through stuff as well.
Yes, sir.
The literature calls them invisible second patients, especially those who are caring for persons with cognitive impairment like dementia.
Mm-hmm.
They call them invisible second patients, and some of those people die before the older adults.
Goodness.
And so as we said, it's a complex issue.
Yes,
No
yes, yes,
one size fit all.
yes.
Some of the signs that you may see may not really be elder abuse. It
Mm-hmm.
may just be, so that is why you're going to walk gently in and say, how
Mm-hmm.
can I help? What do you
Yes.
need help with? Do you need like a few hours? You need,
Yeah.
and that's how you help. Because
It,
sometimes I just want somebody to talk to,
mm,
you
it
know.
could it could be neglect, but not willful. It could
It's
be
not,
just
yeah, yeah.
not an ability, just an ability not. I mean, sometimes. I mean, I'm sure you've been there. We've all been there where you can't even manage yourself.
You can't manage yourself.
And
You
you get
can't make.
annoyed with yourself. So can you, you know that like, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
understand
yeah, yeah.
the humanity. I mean, oh my gosh,
the,
it's
the
a tough thing.
human the humanness, because remember,
Yes,
Jerry, we have
yes.
different socioeconomic levels who are
Mm-hmm.
dealing with older adults. Some people want to do more for their older adults, but they
Yes,
don't have the resources.
that's it.
So
That's
so
it.
so and sometimes they themselves feel guilty and impotent, and it comes out as because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't know how to deal with our
Mm-hmm.
inabilities. We get aggressive. We have a
Mm-hmm.
tendency. So instead of addressing the issue, we get aggressive. And so
Yes.
you are fighting with your own guilt, personal guilt, because you want to do more for mommy, you want to do more for daddy, you want to do more, but you don't have the resources, you don't have the wherewithal.
Mm.
And so sometimes you
Gotcha.
come across, especially if the person has a cognitive impairment, they can sense your energies. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not about what you say. It's because you are so
It's a
tense and
vibe.
and,
Yes.
and guilt ridden and
Mm.
sad and thing, and all of that energy is transmitted to that
Mm.
person, and it becomes, they become agitated, and they becoming agitated now, you see them being
Mm.
oppositional, and so it escalates into,
Mm. Nothing,
yeah,
nothing,
it
nothing,
escalates into,
nothing abates if you start throwing
no,
stones, you know.
no, no, no,
Wow,
no,
wow.
no.
How can we do we need more public education?
We
Do we
need more
need
public
yeah,
education.
yeah.
Yeah, we need more public education because people don't understand. But I will say though, that the government has taken a good first step. We have an inter-ministerial debate about establishing a Care and Protection Act for older
Yes,
adults.
yes, yes,
And so that's an excellent first step. So some of these
yes.
things that we're talking about will
Right.
be addressed. Long-term care issues,
Yes.
caregiving, training of caregivers, and we
Mm-hmm.
have those resources
Yes.
that are out there. We just need to just bring it together, just do it in a strategic way,
Yes.
because we have some parishes that don't have as much as Kingston, St. Catherine, and St. Thomas. So we want to be able to make it standardized. So that
Mm-hmm.
piece of legislation will include some of that.
Yes.
More public education, more training of caregivers, more recognition of the
Mm-hmm.
work that they are in fact, they're in fact a workforce that we
Absolutely.
need to start taking care of, because
Of
some of
course.
them, at the end of it, they are left without anything. They're left, income insecure, because they're
Mm-hmm.
caring for these persons. The money not that much, and so the money that they make, they actually put it back into caring for the person.
Yeah,
And so that is why we said it's a complex thing. It's
it
not just
is.
one thing. It really is integrated, and so it needs
Mm-hmm.
an integrated approach. We need the medics, we need the social workers, we need the geriatric nurses. We need everybody on
Mm-hmm.
board to work with this, because it's a complex issue of loving, trusting relationship that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes get escalated through no fault of anybody,
Mm-hmm.
because we're all human,
Yes, absolutely.
and so that can happen.
Yes. My goodness, we probably will have to have continuing conversations about this. And of course, the CCRP is very much vested in this. It's a core of our main business. And of course, our
Yes.
leader, our captain, our founder, has ensured that our collective voice has gone before Parliament and so on. So
Yeah.
we all feel a vested interest in the greater good. Thank you so much, Ms. Sandra Lattibeaudiere. Continue to do your great work lecturing the next generation at UWI and in giving your wise counsel. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Blessings. Until next
Blessings.
Sunday, okay. Next Sunday at 3 for all things CCRP, visit our website, ccrponline.org, and of course, our YouTube channel is up and vibrant. And don't forget, 40. That's all you need to be. We look forward to welcome you. Full membership. Don't bother wait. It opens up a whole world of good stuff. And the fact is, you don't want to be just hit in retirement, proper full legal retirement, and don't know what you're doing. So get the experience now, get the information now, and have a more fulfilling life and ease into retirement. We're waiting for you. CCRP update brought to you by JNGI Silver Shield, the best trust for auto and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. Contact Gallagher Insurance Brokers or JNGI for best value and a boatload of benefits.